Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, and thank you so much for joining us for Comics from the Future. This is our show that we do every single Friday where we tell you all about the upcoming comics that are going to be hitting your comic shop in the next 3 weeks or so, about a month for DC books. So let's see what is new. But first of all, I am Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with Infinity Flux Comics in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That is right. And as I already said earlier, we're going to show you some covers we think are cool, some series we don't want you to miss, some trade paperbacks, all sorts of new things. We collect it all here, and we're showing it off to you. So if you want anything that you see here, make sure to let your comic shop know before final orders are due, either this Sunday or Monday, depending on your shop. And if you need one, we'll give you some info at the end of the show on how to set one up with us. But let's get going.
All right, so May is Asian History Month, and in honor of that, DC is launching a one-shot called DC's Festival of Heroes, the Asian Superhero Celebration. So as stated, this is just a one-shot with a lot of Asian creators telling a lot of stories with characters like Cassandra Cain, Katana, The Atom, Batman Beyond, Red Arrow, Lady Shiva, Damian Wayne, New Superman. Also, Cheshire Cat goes to Selena Kyle in one of the stories. This is in the solicitation. And finally, formally asked to become Catgirl.
Oh.
So that's one of them. I got to read a preview of 5 of the stories in this. I don't know how many there'll be. I think a lot. I think at least 10 stories. And they range from, just sort of warm and fuzzy to fairly satisfyingly brutal to people who deserve it. Like, there's a story with Katana. The Katana story is really good, where some people are really nasty to her, and it makes you really angry, and she gets them back good. Like, she really gives them their full comeuppance. So this has a cool variant cover by Stanley Artgerm Lau. So that is
really
our first.
Cool Cassandra Cain cover.
Mm-hmm.
All right, up next is Stargirl Spring Break Special. I don't know about where you live, but it feels like spring break has lasted like 2 months here. People getting different spring breaks every week. Anyway, this is going to be a 48-page one-shot by creator of Stargirl, Jeff Johns, and Todd Knock are going to be working on this. So this is, like we said, a spring break story. So Stargirl is going on a mystery journey to find the 7th soldier of victory. It's like one of those limited series where it's like 5 out of a 4-part limited series.
It's 8th member of a 7-person team.
8th member of a 7-person team. So that's what this is going to be about. It's going to be really cool, I think. Glad Jeff Johns is working on his own character here. So there is a B cover, but I don't know if we can see it yet. I don't think it was available.
It was not available, but still, we got to let people know. This is your chance to order it from your shop.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be a Mike McCone cover. Not available yet, but I know it's going to be good.
I'd like to mention, I think the last time we saw Stargirl was DC Infinite Frontier Zero.
Yep.
She had the backup story that was sort of flagging everyone, hey, she's coming back. She's going to be more of a thing. So.
I think this is funny because it's a spring break special. And if you know anything about her, she's Stargirl, and the robot under her is Stripe. Mm-hmm. And that's also her stepdad.
Yeah.
So she has to go on spring break with her stepdad. It's totally lame.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the next big event from Marvel, which they've been teasing for quite a while now. This is Heroes Reborn. So you may recognize the name Heroes Reborn from a old crossover they did back in 1997 to 1998, 1996 time frame where a bunch of big creators kind of reinvented Iron Man, Captain America, the Fantastic Four. I'm not quite sure yet what this has to do with that, other than they just like the name Heroes Reborn. It does kind of take that idea of reinventing characters, but in this, it's a 7-issue miniseries that sees Blade basically wakes up in this maybe alternate timeline, maybe another dimension, something where he's the only one that remembers the one before, and in this world, the Avengers never existed because, they never existed, so they never woke Captain America up from being frozen in ice, to Wakanda is still a myth, and so the Avengers, we have the Squadron Supreme, And Thor is a big atheist who sits in a bar and doesn't like hammers, it says. I just like someone walks by and they're like, do you mind if I hang up this picture? And he's like, not if you have a hammer. I don't know how aggressive his disdain for hammers is. But this sounds really cool. So it's kind of one of your Elseworlds. Like, what if the Avengers didn't exist? How would each of the characters kind of evolve? And it's up to Blade to figure out how to get things right again, which I think is really interesting. They're picking Blade.
I know. You don't see him at the center
No,
of an event.
and you know, with a lot of characters, you could kind of pinpoint why, oh, they're the one who remembers because they're either magic or they're this. It's like, he's just a half vampire.
I will say King in Black has sort of brought him back. He had
Mhm.
a lot more to do with it, him and all the vampires
Yeah.
who he had to kind of make peace with. So, like, Donny Cates almost angled him in
Yeah.
to be like, hey, Blade is going to be important soon, and here we have it.
Yep, so this is by Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness. That's the team that kicked off this most recent run of Avengers. Jason Aaron's still writing that. Ed McGuinness comes in here and there to do stuff. But sounds really exciting. We'll be talking in the coming weeks about a lot of one-shots there's going to be that kind of explores the different universes, heroes, and what they've become in this. You'll see a lot of them on these variant covers. So first up, we have, this is the art germ for, I believe this is Power Woman, I believe is her name.
Yeah.
Very
Very much compared online to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, this Supreme Squadron Supreme was kind of Marvel's take on the Justice League.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like one-to-one parallels of those characters.
Mm.
Then we have, they're doing these trading card variants that are pretty cool. And here you go, here's Mephisto. I wonder if that gives away any hints to why this whole event is caused. Maybe it's Mephisto causing it.
Right.
We have another one with Blade on the trading card variant. This is the Cassara Stormbreakers variant.
Reminds me of the Wonder Woman 1984 color.
Oh yeah, it
scheme
is.
thing.
It's like what's going on when you flip it. Like Wonder Woman's standing over here and you flip it around and
Uh-huh.
you have like Dr. Spectrum punching Blade. Then you have the, of course, John Tyler Christopher, Hyperion, who's kind of Marvel's Superman, action figure variant.
Our next one's going to make us all disappear for a moment so we can show it off properly.
Yeah, and then this is the Coelho Gatefold variant. So you see a lot going on there. You see Hyperion versus, what do they call him? Dr. Juggernaut. You got other characters in this, like Black Skull, which is kind of a mix of Red Skull and Venom, and Silver Witch, which is like, I guess, Silver Surfer and Scarlet Witch, or,
That kinda
or
sounds
something like that.
Yeah.
But really cool, kind of new takes on characters. It's only 7 issues, and we'll see what comes out of this. I think it can be really interesting. When they do these like multi-dimensional things, they tend to kind of shake up stuff, introduce new characters. So.
There is one more cover, too. There is this one.
Oh, wow.
The Squadron Supreme.
The Squadron Supreme. This is the Pacheco variant.
You know, I have to say, Marvel has been doing this thing for ages where it's kind of like one event ends and then a few weeks later another event begins. And, some people like that, some people don't. What I like about this one is King in Black was an awesome event. It was great. It drew in everyone. But if they did another event that just used the regular people, I might be a little tired.
Yeah.
This is a what if. This is new takes on these characters. And so if they're going to do another event, I'm so glad it's a what if event.
Yeah, and just characters. Most of the characters were not even featured in King in Black. Blade was barely in it, but he was in it. But Squadron Supreme, pulling in characters like a mix of Doctor Doom and Juggernaut is like, those characters weren't in it. Really, Doom was in that one shot, but refreshing. Got to give the other characters a breather and then get some new stuff.
All right, speaking of event books, this is Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters Alpha. So this is the prelude that is leading in to what is going to be hopefully really awesome and really exciting crossover book, event book by Charles Soule. Charles Soule, he did not this run on Vader. This run on Vader is Greg Pak, but the one before it, which I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah, one of the best
I cannot
series.
suggest that Vader run enough. And I think Marvel realized that. I think he got so much
Yeah.
acclaim from that. They're like, hey, will you write something really cool for us? So listen to this. So this is canon, of course. It's kind of new canon they're writing. This is set after the
It's after Empire,
Empire
before
Strikes
Jedi,
Back,
yeah.
right before Jedi, where Boba Fett has Han Solo and Carbonite, and he wants to deliver him. He's taking him to Tatooine. He wants to deliver him to Boba Fett, and we all think it went fine, but apparently it didn't. Apparently something has gone wrong. Maybe somebody steals him away. I mean, this is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so Boba Fett has to go after the people who are trying to take away Han Solo, who was, I guess, frozen this whole time.
Yeah.
So this is going to add to that. I mean, this is a major part of Star Wars. This is one of the parts I remember most when I was a kid, and I didn't know it backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that they're letting him do this. It's going to run throughout several series, too. It's going to include the Vader series, Dr. Aphra. It's going to run through the Bounty Hunters, and also, of course, the regular Star Wars series. So this is the one shot that's beginning the whole thing. It's got some pretty awesome covers. But before we get to that, they're also releasing a director's cut of the #1.
It's really cool.
It's going to show the art in black and white before it's colored. It also claims to have bonus features. Yep. So just like DVDs.
I was about to say an extra DVD of bonus features.
Yeah. So the director's cut is going to be $5.99. I think that's $2 more than the regular one. So just want to make everyone aware of that. Then we also have, so this is for the regular, the action figure variant.
Which this is interesting because it says like black armor Boba Fett, and it's like, oh, does he have another set, or is this? It'd be interesting to see what this ties in with the story.
Yeah. Some of these covers keep bringing up a black armor thing. So, and then next we have the McNiven Crimson variant.
It just got hotter.
And lastly, we have the U variant.
Nice.
So this is going to be a hot series. Don't miss out. Don't ask for it late. Just sign up. If you like Star Wars stuff, I mean, what more do you want?
Yeah, you don't need much more convincing here.
Everybody's been asking for, I mean, we have a Bounty Hunter series going on. Boba Fett doesn't play a huge role in it. No. There's a few issues where he was in it, but this definitely seems to be, he's the main character in it. And it's interesting because it's kind of something that there's no way that Boba Fett delivered Han and Carbonite to Jabba just with a leisurely drive, and he just parked and wheeled him out. It's like, no, these are like cutthroat bounty hunters. Clearly, he's going to get intercepted on the way.
Yep.
And I think this is going to be a really cool, not heist, but kind of that like, oh no, this guy's got Han and Carbonite now. We got to go get it from him, and now this guy stole it. And it seems really cool. And in this event, they're bringing in more bounty hunters than we've seen in any of the series so far. We do know in Aphra they're bringing in Dirge, which was an old bounty hunter from pre-Disney canon. Who knows what else they're going to bring into this? Could be a lot of first appearances of new bounty hunters,
right?
Or ones we haven't seen in a really long time, which I think is exciting.
And with Boba Fett getting his TV show, I mean, this would be a great sort of training ground to see some of these characters, see which ones connect, and then right into the show or the second season or something.
You know, there's been some new characters in even the Mandalorian and stuff like the Bad Batch and all those that it's not long till they start showing up in
the comics.
And to have an event book, I think is a prime place for them to show up.
Yeah.
All right, up next we have from Image a book called Good Asian, and this is by Pornsic Pishashot, and he did the critically and just beloved by many people Infidel series. So that was a very popular series for lots of people. So this is about it's set in 1936. And it is about a self-loathing Chinese detective on the trail of a serial killer. So wonderful premise in a setting that we don't typically see, with a main character who is not typically our main character. So this was described as a Chinatown noir. There are a few preview pages you can go check out with this, but I think this sounds like a really cool premise. Like I said, just something unique. And all the pages, I did read a little bit of this, and it just has that sense of dread and foreboding, like all the best noir stuff does. So the art was really fantastic. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I think this will be a hit for sure.
It's a really just striking and memorable title too. You just don't see a title like that, so it kind
Yeah.
of stands out on the shelf.
Right.
I think
It's
gonna
like
stand on the shelf.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of a meaning you can probably
It's very Sin
think
City
underline.
too. Very Frank Miller on
Yeah.
the cover with the using the negative space instead of drawing the banister and everything, the railing. It's negative space with
Yeah,
black
you're
and
right.
white. Really cool.
I can already tell with the font choice too. Like they're definitely throwing some style into this.
Yeah.
So it is going to have a secondary cover here, and this one is the Takeda variant. This is our B cover. If you want more of that noir look to it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And that just oozes noir.
Yeah.
Trench coats, foggy
Cities, yeah.
Like I said, they described him as a self-loathing detective. Is there any detective who likes himself?
No. No detective wakes up and he's like, man, it's great to be a detective. Next up is a really interesting series. This is actually from Upshot, or they are kind of a how'd you describe their company? It's smaller, but they get really big names on it.
Yes,
they don't have a lot of titles going at once or anything, but they seem to be very like hand selective with what they do release. They've had big books like Resistance, which was a really big one recently. This one is Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal. Temporal or temporal, however you want to say it. This is by Garth Ennis. And, you know, immediately when you say Garth Ennis, you get a lot of different feelings and ideas about what it is. Of course, the creator of The Boys, which, you know, is already a hit TV show and everything, and it's cool he's going back and creating another new character. So this is a time traveler, Marjorie Finnegan, who is a criminal who basically will go after anything throughout time that's shiny. You know, she is not just a regular thief. She goes to like ancient Egypt and tries to steal like gold from the pyramids and everything.
Oh.
So it sounds really fun that she has all this time to work with. It also, Ennis said that it's going to be way more lighthearted than, you know, stuff like The Boys, which is very
it can get really grim.
It can get grim and really like melancholy and everything. This seems, I mean, this character, her personality when reading about it is kind of Harley Quinn-ish because it says she's a criminal, but she still kind of has like she knows right and wrong.
I mean, look at her. She's smiling.
Look at that
She's
smile.
got the gun.
She's having a great time in her overalls, getting some work done. But yeah, it sounds like a really fun series. It's supposed to deal a lot with like the weird paradoxes of time travel and like time travel movies and everything. If you go back in the past and you kill this person, do they cease to exist, or why did they already? Apparently, they're just gonna dive really deep into that and just make it where it's just so messed up.
That's probably where the humor is going to come in.
I think so too. It's, you know, with Ennis taking on, you know, The Boys was like a look at superheroes. If this is his look at time travel, I feel like we're going to get a lot of fun, crazy, original ideas with that.
Yeah, we were talking before the show about Garth Ennis. He's one of these writers. He has not slowed down.
No.
A bit.
Writing for so many years and still creating
really creative ideas.
Yeah,
just oozing out of them.
So sounds really interesting. I believe there is a few variants for this. So this is the Diodato variant, which Diodato apparently he's really involved with Upshot because I feel like I think he has a cover for almost every book they put out. I don't know what stake he has in it, but it's really great to see his art. He did a bunch of great stuff in Marvel and.
I just like the worried face in the background.
That's a bodiless head.
That's a face of anxiety.
And then there's this beautiful Frank Cho cover where he kind of has this style now where he does a lot of covers that are very similar to this, but it's always cool. He's great with dinosaurs and everything.
I like the names of the people who make it above the arrows.
They're riding on the arrows, yeah.
That's really cool too. Okay, so another indie series that's coming out. This one from Boom is Eve. This is by Victor Lavelle. So this is issue 1 of 5. But where have we heard that before? We've heard that with We Live.
Let's
We've
say
heard
every
that
Boom
with,
series so far.
yeah, Something's Killing the Children was supposed to be limited. It seems like Boom is doing something where they say a series is limited, and if it does well enough, they continue it. In fact, later in the show, we'll be talking about how We Live is continuing.
Yes.
So just because something's a mini series, if you're looking for those number ones of the ongoing, you might want to grab this. This sounds really cool to me. So the premise is it is a post-apocalyptic book, but it sounds a little different than some of the ones I've heard of before. Pretty much the ice caps have melted, and there was something in them that releases a disease that kills most of humanity. That's just some of what's happened so far. So this girl Eve, she wakes up. This is apparently the future, and she's been raised in some sort of VR environment. Apparently, like, there's so few humans left that there's some sort of matrix thing going on. So she gets out of it, discovers the world is in shambles. It's this terrible, wild, threatening place. She figures out that her whole life was a lie and somehow learns where her true father is. So she goes on a cross-country quest to find her true father and figure out what is going on. So, 5-issue series, it feels to me like they have a lot more planned for this if this series does well.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to order up on this one, honestly.
Did it say anything about the teddy bear? That seems to be a pretty pivotal point in all of these covers.
It didn't, but I'm pretty interested. I mean, once again, we know it's the future, and she woke up from some VR thing, so I'm assuming this teddy bear is like an advanced Teddy Ruxpin who can actually like think on his own and not just regurgitate what the tapes tell him to say.
I know, it looks like post-apocalyptic corduroy or something.
I'm really interested. I think this is like one of these possible sleeper hits where people just don't know about it, and then issue 5 rolls around and they keep going, and it heats
People
up.
should know by now, I don't think Boom has sleeper hits anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is a hit, whether you're sleeping on it or not.
Boom right now.
True.
So here is the variant cover by Mirka Andolfo.
Cool.
Once again, the bear. Don't know what the tree represents exactly. Possibly the family lineage thing. So
Deep roots.
yeah.
Alright guys, well now we're getting to the second part of our show where we're going to go over some other variant covers, later series stuff, just so you don't miss out. If you happen to pick up the first issue or two, we don't want you to miss out, so here's some upcoming other stuff. This is Batman Urban Legends number 3, the B cover, see what Cole Cash and Grifter are up to, and this is the David Marquez variant, and then one more variant for this is the Bianchi variant, really, really cool.
Red Hood's seen better days.
Yeah, really.
So of course there's an A cover in addition to this, but we're showing you the variants here.
Next up, this is Crime Syndicate number 3. This is the Babs Tar variant with Superwoman, which of course is Lois Lane in this universe. Really nice cover, but also this issue has the first appearance of this kind of new continuities version of Alexander Luthor, which, if you have a world where the Superman, the Wonder Woman, everything are bad, then your Lex Luthor is the good guy. And Alexander Luthor was a big part in Infinite Crisis and stuff. He's kind of a hero that's cross dimensions and everything. So that's pretty big they're bringing him back into this.
In this alternate world, doesn't mean he has like a nice, luscious head of hair.
He has a big curly fro.
I
A
know
big
it.
curly red
I
fro,
know
yeah.
it. All right. So this is Green Lantern number 2. If you enjoyed the first one, we want to let you know the second one's coming out. This is the variant by Brian Hitch. And in the end of the first one, and this is in the solicitation, so this ain't a spoiler, but one of the Guardians of the Universe is dead. That's sort of a major deal. They don't die. They don't get killed. Well, one of them is dead. John Stewart is taking on the role of ambassador. And there's they say, a surprise appearance by a certain Green Lantern. I wonder who it could be. I'm just looking at that cover. I wonder who is going to appear.
Probably one in the background.
But yes, that is Joe Mullion.
Alright, next up we have Next Batman Second Son, issue number 2. This is the A cover. And if you checked out issue number 1, you know this is about the origin of Tim Fox, how he becomes the next Batman. And this is set after Joker War. So if you've been reading Joker War and Current Batman, this is definitely something that you're going to want to check out. So this is the A cover for number 2. Once again, if you read 1, make sure you get it. And number 2, this is the Matina cover.
It's really cool.
I like this one a lot.
And that's Batwing in his his newer costume
Yep.
from back in the New 52 days. Next up is Sensational Wonder Woman number 3, and this is the Savage variant. And this one sounds interesting because Colleen Doran is writing and drawing this one, if you know her art. Very interesting, almost very Sandman-esque, very dreamy and stuff. So I like when they give kind of an artist who doesn't normally work on comics their own thing to explore and all of that. So looks really cool. Great variant cover.
Yeah, that just helps broaden the industry to bring in different sorts of art. So this is the Perel variant for Suicide Squad number 3.
Not
That's right.
Teen Titans
you
Academy.
might have thought it was Titans
I
Academy.
know.
No, they are doing a crossover of the two already, which I think is
Cool.
a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there is some good thinking going on in DC these days to have them crossover. So if you like Suicide Squad, the first issue, which I thought was awesome, here's your chance to order number 3. Basically, Amanda Waller is trying to build a more powerful Suicide Squad. She's already had them go into Arkham and get some new powerful members. Well, now she wants them to go to the Teen Titans Academy and try to get Bolt, the new speedster, to join the team. But what happens when Red X gets in her way?
Probably a lot of punching from what it looks like.
Knuckle cracking.
I just like that they're doing the promise. Red X is going to be doing stuff in this. He's just not going to be in the background as crossover. So there you have it.
Okay, we definitely wanted to show off this variant cover for Swamp Thing number 3. This is the Kyle Hotz sort of Poison Ivy cover. A lot to look at here. It's really gorgeous, so I think this one will definitely sell off our shelves pretty easily. So make sure that you pre-order this if you like it.
It was really awesome that Kyle Hotz is back doing covers and art again. I mean, he was big in the 90s and then just didn't do a whole lot, but they're bringing him back, and he has not lost his touch. That is an amazing cover.
How long does it take Poison Ivy to wash that hair? I mean, that is voluptuous. Next up is Thanos Quest Marvel Tales number 1. So if you know about these Marvel Tales, they collect older issues, kind of put them in, like this one that collects Thanos Quest 1 and 2. They put them in order, so you got a complete story. Thanos Quest was the miniseries, the 2-issue miniseries that was right before Infinity Gauntlet. So it's kind of the primer for that, where Thanos is collecting the Infinity Stones. And you also have this awesome Joshua Swaby variant.
I imagine Thanos just got home with his favorite cereal and discovered he doesn't have any milk. Just got home from the grocery store.
Or the milk's bad.
Yeah. Okay, this is the B cover for America Chavez number 3. The artist's last name is Cola. Yeah, so
First name Diet.
I think it's a very, very cool little cover there. So America Chavez, she has this secret tormentor who's been messing with her. And the face of the tormentor is going to be revealed in this issue. But beyond that, they say that even more shocking than who it is something that he tells her. Apparently reveals some information to her, because it's all about her origin and past that is supposed to be very shocking. So here's the B cover for that.
Alright, this one is really cool for Immortal Hulk number 46. This is the Bennett homage variant. This is, of course, to Days of Future Past, the iconic cover. So this, another one, I'm sure this will sell off our shelves, so make sure, there's a lot of S's in what I'm saying right now, make sure to pre-order it.
And now this is Carnage Black, White, and Blood number 3. What I thought was interesting about the solicitation for this, these so far have had multiple stories in it. It only mentions one story by Dan Slott and Greg Smallwood that is said to be a psychological terror set during the Maximum Carnage story. So from what it looks like, everything when it just lists writer and artist, it's just those two. So I'm wondering, is this going to be a whole issue that's just one story or whatever?
Yeah.
Or will that just be the lead story? I'm not sure. But a bonus story that takes place during Maximum Carnage is a really cool idea to kind of revisit an older story and see other stuff going on during it.
So this is the cover to the Marvels number 2. This is just the regular cover. This is a new ongoing series by Kurt Busiek with covers by Alex Ross. Of course, the whole Marvel thing was designed by Alex Ross. It's sort of a alternate retelling of different heroes, and they draw from wherever, and they really do, because I think the current heroes they've been going over in part one, it's Arrow, the Punisher, Black Cat, the Tinkerer, just, like, wow, this is just, you don't know
Anyone's fair
where.
game.
But there are new characters too. In fact, the guy on the cover, his name is Kevin Schumer, and in the first issue, what he does is he gives tours of where superheroes are throughout the city. He has like a hovercraft, and he takes people to see superheroes, which is very dangerous. And it seems like he has a power too he hasn't revealed. So this is ongoing. Don't be fooled, because we know we've seen several miniseries of Marvel. This is, I think Alex Ross, what he did was when he was doing the timeless variants at Marvel, he's like, you don't have to pay me for all these. Just let me have my own ongoing series and get Kurt Busiek to help write it. I'll maybe tell him script ideas. So I wonder if this is going to blow up. I mean, it's got great art. It has some real good ideas to it. And now it's going to have new characters. I don't think the older ones had too much of that.
They teased, like, before this came out, they were like, this is going to be one of the biggest series ever, incorporating every character, everything. And then you didn't hear a whole lot about it. It got kind of pushed to the side. So hopefully people aren't missing out on this one, because it seems like a really big story that they're telling.
Yeah, I got to read the first one already, and I thought it was really cool. And also it doesn't have any open order variant. That's it. If you buy this, you got it.
All right, this next one is part 3 in that Curse of the Man-Thing trilogy. This is X-Men Curse of the Man-Thing. This is actually the Zetro variant. So like I was saying last week, I didn't know what the third part was, but so first we had Avengers Man-Thing, Spider-Man Curse of the Man-Thing, and now finally we have the third part, X-Men Curse of the Man-Thing. So this was not like a series code you could order, so definitely make sure to let your shop know if you want this. There are a few other covers if you want to go check them out as well.
Man-Thing hanging out with Illyana Rasputin magic.
Sword is bigger than both of them.
Next up is For Children of the Atom number 3, and we did want to mention this one because in this one it is, they say at least, that the origins and the secret identities of these new X-Men sidekicks is going to be revealed. So definitely a big thing when you get that big reveal about who they are, and it's been kind of weird so far, these characters, where did they come from?
Right.
Why are they so, like, closely related in powers and looks and everything to the other ones? So I think this is going to be a really big issue.
Also, are they really mutants or not? Why can't they get to Krakoa?
Yeah.
Neat little mystery the first one set up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's cool. Number 3 is promising their origin finally.
Yep.
Unfortunately, they didn't have the cover ready, but make sure to ask your store for it, because stores tend to order less when we don't have covers to draw from before the cutoff date. This is Iron Fist Heart of the Dragon, number 5. This is the Petrovich variant. So why do we have a number 5 up? I'll tell you why. They promised at the beginning of this series that by the end there would be a new Iron Fist. And we don't know which issue it's going to drop in, but we try to inform everyone on all the little things that you might miss in a comic. So maybe this will be the issue where there is a new Iron Fist.
Maybe it's on the cover.
So just want to make people aware about that.
Okay, this is Invincible Red Sonja, a new series with Red Sonja by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, that team, that award-winning team. So this is the A cover, the Connor cover, and it's going to have pirates, it's going to have mermaids, it's going to have princesses, it's going to have more than that. It's going to have an Invincible Red Sonja. So, new ongoing series by those two. So,
if you know about their stuff, it is always really fun.
Yeah, they definitely
very funny. Great run on Harley Quinn.
Yes. So, new series, Red Sonja.
Okay, this is cool. I'm really excited about this. So, Wind, like we were saying earlier, Boom series, it was originally supposed to be, I believe, only 5 issues.
Yep.
Is coming back. Of course, this is by James Tynion, who's also doing Batman and Something's Killing the Children, Department of Truth, about 1,000 things roughly. And Wind is coming back. I loved the first 5 issues of Wind. I thought it was really cool kind of coming of age fantasy, but it was like it was fantasy, but it wasn't the kind of fantasy that we've seen over and over. It definitely had a very new take
Not
about
just straight Tolkien fantasy.
yeah, it's like magic is outlawed here, and so if you're magic, you need to like keep it under wraps and a lot of really cool stuff. Great characters, great art, and it's coming back. So this is actually is this the one they're actually calling?
This is issue number
number
6
6.
of a 5-issue series.
Yeah, number 6 of a 5-issue series. So I mean, I'm hoping this continues on. I feel like, especially how Volume 1 left off, there is a lot of story. We only scratch the surface of this world. And if you haven't read Wind, which you definitely should, we have Wind Volume 1. Great transition to this next slide. This is Wind Volume 1, which does collect issues 1 through 5.
Get people all caught up.
Yeah,
Ready for
and
issue 6.
this is only, I believe, yeah, $14.99.
Yep.
Everyone really needs to read this. It is a great series, a lot of fun, and it's James Tynion. He's already proven himself with so much.
Mm-hmm.
So next up we have Eden, which is a one-shot comic by Cullen Bunn from Aftershock. It's described as a horror romance comic.
Ooh.
So it is definitely oversized. It's a $6.99 book, so it's either 2 or 3 times the size of a regular book.
Mm-hmm.
The premise is that there is this mysterious woman who goes into a tattoo parlor who meets the main protagonist, who is the tattoo artist. And as they get to know each other, he discovers she has a lot of secrets, including that when she gets tattooed, they vanish off of her in a few days. And that's just the first secret of many. So a lot of horror, but also supposed to have a side of romance. So
very Cullen Bunn, horror with a little twist.
Yep. So just a one and done $6.99 comic available for open order this week.
All right, next up we have a couple Noctera things of interest. This is Noctera number 3. This is the Kudransky variant. This is part 3, obviously, of the Noctera story, where they're going to go over how to spot a human shade. Love this cover, really cool. And then next we have the number 2 second printing. So different covers. I know lots of people want to collect everything, so number 2 second printing.
Yeah, I think that's just a recoloring of the original number 2 cover.
You may be right.
And I said on the other show, this cover shows exactly why I like this series.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. I look at it and I want to know about these characters. I want to know what's going on. For anyone who hasn't read number 2 yet, number 2 will solidify if you'll like the book or not. I think everyone who's read number 2 around here has come back and been like, yep, this is good.
Yeah. Next up is The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. This is number 2. I keep wanting to say it's number 3 because we haven't got number 1 yet. But if you read the previews of it, this it's super interesting. There's like 4 or 5 pages of it out about Layla Starr, or I don't know if that was her name when she was like the god of death.
Right.
But she gets called to the big office to say, hey, someone's about to invent immortality, so you're probably going to be out of a job.
You're fired.
Unless you go to Earth and stop them from creating immortality. And so she becomes a Layla Starr on Earth and must track down the kid who will one day invent immortality. And what's she going to do? How is she going to stop him? Looks really fun. The few preview pages I read are really good. And, of course, this is another Boom book, so keep an eye on it.
Okay, this next one, I didn't really know a lot about this. I had to read into this. So this is called Extraordinary. This is number 0. It's just a $1 comic, so they're really just trying to get people hooked on this. This is by author V.E. Schwab, who has done these books called, Vicious and Vengeful. And apparently he's created this world around this girl named Eve, who almost died in a bus crash, but was able to survive and came back with powers where she can see people's deaths in reflective surfaces. So if you're next to like a really shiny coffee container, she can be like, oh, you're going to get your head blown off one day.
Yikes.
So apparently these books are very popular with people other than me, because I'm too busy reading comics. But now V. Schwab is smart enough to write a comic, so now I'll read it. But it's just a $1 one shot. So maybe some of you out there know about this, but it's a good way to sort of get involved in this interesting, morbid world.
All right, I hate that this cover is not available, but I know it's going to be cool. So, Carnage, Black, White, and Blood, #1, second printing. So, once again, I hate that I can't show it to you, but I have a feeling lots of you are going to want to go ahead and sign up for it. Hopefully, there will be one before. Orders are due on Monday, but we've already sold this book enough to you on the show, so I'm just going to leave it there.
I wonder if they're going to go with the same coloring as like the Spider-Man one did. The first one's red, and they switched to white, or what was
No,
this?
the first was white, then red, then blue.
then red, then blue.
So the next one may be white or blue or something, but it's going to be good. Everybody's going to want it. Next up this is great. This is Berserker #1, fourth printing.
Fourth printing.
So, if you follow our show, you've heard the mini tale of the Berserker and its many printings, and how pretty much all of the other printings are harder to get than even the #1 first printing. So they limited the number of people could get of the second printing and the third printing. Well, finally the fourth printing.
Boom has finally heard us all. After 2 printings where they didn't make enough.
Finally saying, hey, we actually do want this. So this is open order.
Yep.
If you're getting all of the Berserker future covers, trying to, good luck to you. But at least this fourth one will be a little bit easier for you to get.
Yep, and this by the cover artist is Raphael Grandpa, I believe. It's got the Keanu Berserker character standing in front of the other Keanu.
Yeah, just looking super casual in the background. That just looks like Keanu Reeves going to Starbucks or something in the background.
All right, next up, Silver Coin #1 is going to second print. So I guess the first one sold out on the distributor level. So here is the second print with a new cover. For those of you who enjoyed it or just want to collect it all, there you have it.
It's a really nice cover.
It's got sort of a angel molting on the cover.
All right, now we're getting into some collected volumes and some trade paperbacks, starting with Batman Earth 1 Volume 3 by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. This is just $24.99. It's a hardcover, so if you've been following Earth 1, Volume 1 and 2, #3 is coming out.
It's been a long time coming. I think, I could be wrong about this. I remember that it was a long time ago, Jeff Johns teased that Earth 1 Volume 3 is when he's going to introduce the Earth 1 version of the Joker. So the previous volumes had kind of new versions of like Penguin and other stuff. I believe he said this one's going to have Joker. That was a long time ago, so it might have changed, but this Earth 1 Batman series has been one of the best of the Earth 1.
Oh, he certainly had enough time to think about it because he also, was the one who wrote 3 Jokers. So hopefully he had Joker on the mind.
Every so often. I mean, it's the same creative team as 3 Jokers and Geiger. He must have been like, hey, what about our Batman Earth 3 that we're also supposed to be working on? Next up, this is really cool. This is Aquaman Deep Dives, which is one of the best subtitles for an Aquaman book, because this actually collects what was originally printed in those Walmart giant size books. And Aquaman had quite a few. His ran longer than a lot of them and had a lot of really cool creative teams telling different new Aquaman stories. And this actually collects them all, so you don't have to go out and hunt all those individual giant size collections. This has all the new content in this one.
Now this is the cover of Tales from the DC Dark Multiverse 2. It is a hardcover. It is $34.99. It collects 10 of the issues. The Dark Multiverse issues were all one-shots, just set in the Dark Multiverse, alternate, messed up stories. Really good reads, but they're not like super happy and chipper.
Yeah, this would be a very depressing volume after read like the death metal or the metal one and the Blackest Night one.
So still very popular. This is the second volume. If you didn't get the first volume, it's okay. These are one shots. You don't have to have read that. So collects 10 of them, $34.99.
All right, this is Batman Damned, finally collected in trade paperback form.
Yeah.
This feels, I mean, it definitely came out a while back. It's been collected in hardcover for a while. It was just the 3 issues, one of the first Black Label series that came out. So, really good, very good series that was kind of overshadowed by the controversy of the first appearance of the Batwing. So, anyway, this is going to be $24.99, finally in paperback.
Oh, this is great. This is the Sweet Tooth Compendium. I have sung the praises of Sweet Tooth for a long time. This was originally a Vertigo book by Jeff Lemire, one of Jeff Lemire's first mainstream books.
Yeah.
This was before any of his...
before Black Hammer.
Black Hammer or any of that. I think he had only done stuff like Essex County and everything before this. Sweet Tooth is going to be adapted. I believe Netflix is doing Sweet Tooth, about this little deer boy and being raised in isolation, and his dad, and he has... it's crazy. It starts from this tiny little story and blows up to be this giant thing. They just did a new volume recently, but this is cool because this collects issues 1 through 40.
Wow.
That could be the whole series. I don't necessarily remember how long
I think
Sweet
that's,
Tooth
I
ran,
think,
but
I believe that's the whole
I think
thing.
it's the whole thing, and it's $59.99. You won't regret it. This is classic Vertigo, classic Jeff Lemire, one of his best series he's done, and he does the writing and the art on it.
So next up, this is Miles Morales' Ultimate Spider-Man graphic novel. This collects issue 1 through 12, the whole shebang, just $12.99. So you need to catch up on your Miles. This is definitely the affordable way to do it.
Yeah.
If you try to buy these individually, you're going to pay a lot more. And so available.
All right, who the heck is Moon Knight? He is...
Is that what the volume's called? Who
Pretty
the heck is
much.
Moon Knight?
That's a strong title.
It is.
Moon Knight's been a mercenary, a werewolf hunter, a superhero, a cab driver, a ghost. Find out all of his crazy adventures in Moon Knight Epic Collection. This reprints a lot of different stuff, including Werewolf by Night 32, his first appearance. So this is going to be $40. These Epic collections have sold really well around here as far as collected stuff goes. So reprint some cool stuff, go check it out, and place your orders.
Next up is, and this is the variant for it, this is Loki, the Loki Omnibus. I believe this is...
It's Mark Brooks.
Yeah, this is the Mark Brooks variant for $125, and this collects so much Journey into Mystery. I think it's got a few like Weird Tales, some of those. I wrote down how many. It's 1,008 pages.
Man.
So it's a big old meaty
Big
boy. But there is a kind of a classic cover for it, and then there's this Brooks variant, which is super nice. Love this one. So yeah, if you want to catch up on all things Loki before the new series comes out in May, you'll definitely want to check this out.
All right, so Boom relaunched Power Rangers as Power Rangers is one title, and Mighty Morphin is the other. This is the first trade paperback of Mighty Morphin. This is issues 1 through 4, and it is $16.99.
Okay, We Only Find Them When They're Dead trade paperback. This was actually, it's already came out, but it sold out here like the first day. I've got several copies. It's a really cool premise, of course, by Al Ewing, who is the writer on Immortal Hulk. It's just a fantastic series. So $9.99 trade paperback. You cannot beat it.
I wonder if this is going to be like Something's Killing the Children, where it's like even the trade goes back to multiple printings, and it's really hard to get.
Yep.
Next up is We Live Volume 1. So this was kind of a surprise hit from Aftershock. I remember when we were talking about it originally, we saw this cover and we're like, this is a very strong cover. This is really neat. And it lived up to it. This is a awesome series about this kind of impending doom on Earth. But these aliens come, they say, basically, give us some of your kids, we'll make sure they're okay. And these kids have to make the trek to this one spot where the aliens are going to take them. And it's a hard journey getting there.
Oh yeah.
and it is way more brutal than you think it would, starring kids. Definitely no one is safe in this series, but it has I mean, beautiful art, super original premise. Every issue has been really great so far, and this was also, I believe, supposed to be a limited series.
It was, and they're starting up another
Hmm.
series because it did so well. They're continuing it, but I don't think they're continuing it as number 6. It's like
Oh, okay,
another
another
number
volume.
1.
And they're also doing Free Comic Book Day. There's going to be a We Live Free Comic Book Day one shot, so I think that's really cool. Like, apparently, this is doing really well, getting a lot of good feedback for them to make their Free Comic Book Day related to it. And here we go. This is the We Live.
This is number 5,
number
second print.
5 second print. Yeah. Which, I mean, if you've read the ending, you know how crazy it is. This whole series has been crazy. And yep, number 5 is going back for a second printing.
Number 5 snuck up on everyone, and all us retailers sold out of it.
Mhm.
Everyone's been looking for it to the point that people who just want to read it can't even get their hands on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of funny because I don't know if any of the other issues went to second print. Maybe number 1.
I think number 1 did. Yeah, I think they just changed the color of it, but
something pretty shocking happens in it, and now that everyone knows it's going to continue, everyone's running to try to get it.
I could see this as being a great TV show or mini series or something, because it's just, I don't know, it's very visually interesting and
it's a really interesting
great characters.
World.
Yeah.
All right, that is it.
Yay!
Woo!
Once again, happy Friday, and thank you so much for joining us, all of you beautiful comic book lovers, checking out what's coming up in your comic book stores in the next about a month or so. So we're going to leave some info up on the screen. If you would like to order through us, we would really appreciate it. That would be great. We'll set you up and all that. So just reach out to us, and please make sure to leave a comment below. Let us know what you're looking forward to. Or just, you know, what you had for lunch today. Just whatever. Just talk with us in the comments.
And Andy and I will be back on Tuesday for our comics preview show where we read all the comics that are coming out on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. And in a spoiler-free way, we tell you what we think of them, if any have major first appearances, any of that. And
just Joker. Joker.
Yeah, there's some Joker stuff we're definitely be talking about. But we're just trying to help prepare you for going in your shop on Wednesday, what to grab, what to read, what you might like. So we'll be doing that on Tuesday. So please join us then.
See you next time.